Hi, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff, and this is Let's Talk Business and Real Estate, where faith, hope, and determination comes alive. And you can't talk business without talking real estate. Oh. The Lord will bless your barns, and He will bless your hands and everything you put them to do. The Lord will bless the property in which He's given you. Tune in to Let's Talk Business and Real Estate on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on the Boss Up Houston Network.
Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. You do know that this is T. Foxy Wyckoff with Let's Talk Business and Real Estate on the Boss Up Houston Network. Guess what, guys? Today it's Wednesday, hump day. Let's get to it. You know what? I have had a day. I have had a week. I have had a tumultuous 77 days with working on this contract. But you know what? In the name of Jesus, we got it done. You know what? I am once again so happy that you are here with me. And I'm so tired. Pray for me. I'm just tired and I'm hot. Now, with having said that, once again, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff coming to you on the Boss Up Houston Network, premiering on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Stay tuned. We got a great show for you today. We will be talking about home buying, and it lines up with what I've been doing, and I closed the deal today. It is funded. My client has her keys, and we did it. You know what? It is great to buy a house because that is a real estate investment. It also adds to your portfolio. Now, we'll be talking about the home buying today, the home buying process, if you will. So there are several things involved with the home buying process. First, you got to get ready, right? So we're going to talk about, how you should get ready. And we're going to be talking about the financials that are needed. We'll also be talking about the loan requirements, that are needed. I'm going to tell you some things that's going to blow your mind today, especially for my business owners. I've been holding this until today, and it's so amazing that I can talk to you today because that's when the podcast is, right? And I actually closed today, so you know what? It all worked out. I've had one of those days. Got called about my house in Alabama. Thought I had it worked out. Got another call. It wasn't worked out. Had to call title this morning to see if docs were there. Docs didn't get there till after they had left, which was 9 o'clock at night. You guys gotta also remember that most of the time when you're doing these deals, they're not lenders locally. They're lenders in other states, so we also have to be mindful of their time, but they need to be mindful of our time as it pertains to getting these docs out. You got title involved, you got the buyer and the seller, you got the listing agent, you got the buyer's agent. It's just a whole mess, if you will. Not really a mess, but a conglomerate of folk that's working to get this done, but nobody works harder, okay, than the processor. So we're going to talk about that process today as well. Okay, I keep looking down because I have notes that I want to stay on track with. Also, in that home buying process, some of these things that I'm going to talk about, guys, is going to overlap. So I'm so sorry. It's going to overlap. It's going to overlap because we've been talking about, we talked about credit. We did 3 sessions on credit. Then we did another 1 session on business development. And then we did the financial literacy. Okay, and then we came in with the recap of everything that we had talked about. And then we came in with financial literacy, veterans benefits. So now we're on the home buying. So you're going to hear me talk about some of the things that I talked about as it pertains to the credit building process. You're going to hear me re-talk about some of those things. And you're going to hear me talk about, for the business owners, when I get to talking about that, you're going to hear me talk about, your business as well, LLC and incorporated, and also sole proprietor. So you can get a house if you are a sole proprietor. Just got to make sure your taxes are done. So with having said that, we are going to go to a commercial break. And once we go to the commercial break, give you guys time to go to the bathroom, get you something to drink, so that we'll come back and we'll get into what we need to do to get you into a house. Once again, I thank you so much for tuning in with me. Come back.
Events and Adventures knows how to make the most of being single. Get social, in person, try new things, and just have fun. Join Events and Adventures. We've been doing the single life right for over 30 years. 30 great events every month. Just visit eventsandadventures.com.
Wanna be a boss? You're watching Boss Up Houston Network. It's Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
Are you single? Maybe you're divorced or new in town. It's time to meet your match with Events and Adventures. Whether you're low-key or adventurous, come hang out with tons of like-minded people at exciting group activities. The best part? Everyone is single. From happy hours and trivia nights to outdoor adventures and weekend getaways, Events and Adventures has something for everyone. We're all here for the same reason. So come be part of a community made for singles. Your match is waiting for you to make your move. Visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
Hi, I thank you guys so much for tuning back in with me. Once again, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff with Let's Talk Business on the Boss Up Houston Network. Okay, listen, when we were going into commercial, I told you what we would be talking about today, and that's the home buying process. Okay, guys, congratulate me. I closed the deal after 77 days. I know you're saying, what the hell? It's going to take me 77 days to close? No, it's not. But let me tell you what happened. Let me just give you background. I have a business owner who did not have everything straight. So what my job is as a real estate consultant and also a processor is to make sure your financials are straight. Okay? That's all well and good. However, most business owners are going to owe something. Okay? So what happened was my client owed taxes to the IRS, and they came at the last minute and said, oh, you need to pay. Okay. Then when my client paid, which was no problem, about $8,000, no problem, they wanted to see it on her actual bank statement. Well, that's not going to happen because it's not going to come out until the end of this month. We have a contract to close on Monday. But what happened on Monday, guys, you're not going to believe this. Those of you who have bought a house and who have seen a HUD-1 settlement statement or a good faith estimate know what I'm talking about. You have your charges. when that came out, just an estimate, we saw this charge on there for 600 and, not 600, $1,690. What is this for? We already paid transfer HOA fee. Oh, excuse me. Y'all, I will not tell you where we closed this deal because I don't want to shame this HOA. But this HOA had over $3,000 worth of fees. And the buyer's agent was like, oh no, we're not going to pay for all of this. This is crazy. So she had to go back and look at the contract and readjust some things to make sure that it was right. But it was bananas because then we had to get another extension for today. Now, that ain't even the worst part of it. You know, when you're closing, docs have to go to the title company. So title can prepare all the numbers, almost like a checks and balance, and make sure that the buyer's numbers are correct and the seller's numbers are correct. And this title company, I won't say right now because I need to get permission, but this title company is amazing. I've been working with them for a very long time. And they got the docs. The docs came in at 9 o'clock last night. Because remember, this lender is out of Corona, California. So they were 2 or 3 hours ahead of us. So they didn't get the docs, actually didn't come in until 9 o'clock last night. So these guys, it was bad weather here today. And these guys were, I guess, running late because nobody answered the phone at 9 a.m. About 9:16, I could get someone on the phone. And, oh, yeah, docs are here. We'll get it ready. So we went to handle some other business with the house, and then we went to close. And so that's a plus. God is great because it really took, prayer and God intervening because it was so many things that kept coming up. I won't go into everything that kept coming up, but that's why we're talking about the home buying process and what the qualifications are. Okay? So getting back to that, anybody can buy a house over the age of 18, okay? You got to make sure that your credit is straight, okay? Now, some of you may say, oh, I heard they got a product out there for $580. You know what? You're right. However, that $580 is going to be where you got to put down 10, 15%, right? And you're still not going to get a good score, right? So then some of you say, oh, well, they got all these programs, first-time home buyers program. They do. But those programs may have a restriction. So any of you guys that are going to go into one of these programs, these first-time home buyers program, please make sure you ask the curator of that program to tell you what the restrictions are. Let me tell you why. I have a client who paid, I think it was maybe $890 for this home buyers program so that they can give him $15,000 down. Guess what? He can't use it. I'm going to tell you why. Because there was a clause in there that says that you can't have assets of more than $15,000. So his assets are going to be more than that because, yeah, he's W-2, but he runs his own business as well, right? Like most people, most people should be having at least 2 or more streams of income. So that's why he's out of that program. And so it's taking him longer to actually purchase because we've got to make sure he has enough money for his down payment. Now, his down payment could be anywhere from 3.5%, to 5% on the low end. So I have to make sure that you're ready, okay? Now, let's get back to the home buying process. You got to make sure your credit is straight, okay? Remember I was telling you about the 580? I really want you to have a 620, okay? It's very easy to get a 620. You need to make sure that those collections aren't on there. You need to make sure that your student loans are current because these loans are federal mandated. These are federal loans. All of the loans, you have to make sure that your student loans are in good standing. Good standing and deferment is the same thing, okay? Because they won't count against your debt to income ratio. We call that DTI for short, okay? You've got to make sure. Now, some of you are saying, oh, medical bills. You know what? In light of what I just went through with this client who had no debt and who had the income, I don't want to chance saying, oh, I got the medical bill on there. We overlook medical bills. I do have a product supposedly that overlooks those medical bills, but at this point, I don't even want to chase it. Chance it. I'm sorry, I said chase it. Chance it, because if those medical bills are on there, if there's something so small, that's probably, oh, okay. But it's something so big, you want to make sure that these medical bills are off. Now, that comes with, cleaning your credit, right? And remember, when you're cleaning your credit, you got to put credit on there. Good credit that you have, let's keep it good. That bad credit, that stuff that doesn't belong to you, let's clean it off, okay? So we need a good credit score. We need a 620. That's what I'm going to stick with. I'm not going to give you a 580 program because those are too hard to work, because you're probably not going to have the 10%, that they're going to ask for. And then they may give you the 10% and then have you to pay a 5%. So let's not do that. Let's just have the 620. But how you get the 620 is making sure your credit is straight, okay? Now, we actually want to have probably more than 620, because anything that could hit your credit can bring your credit down, right? So we got that going on. And then in this process as well, once we get your credit straight and your credit is straight, we've got to make sure your financials are straight. Let me start with sole proprietor. Sole proprietor tax returns of 2 years. Okay. Also, because you are a sole proprietor, if you don't have any W-2s, W-2s means an employer that you worked for on that tax. Now we got to use bank statements. Okay. Bank statements, last two, but if they feel like you shaky, they could go all the way to the past 12 months. So some of us do have money. We do make money. We're just poor at our credit, right? So just so long as you had the money, the credit, I got you on that, okay? Don't worry about that. I got you, okay? So the credit can be taken care of. Remember what I said, within a 30-day period, okay? Typically, it's a little bit more than 30 days, but the investigation is 30 days. And then when we pull the credit, it depends on your last name when we will pull credit. So that may be if you are Wyckoff or W. That means that you're going to be pulled on the 7th or the 8th of the month, okay? So it goes as according to your last name when we can pull. That means when it's been updated, okay? Now, with having said that, sole proprietor, no W-2 or W-2, doesn't matter. We need those tax returns, okay? We're looking at what you netted. You may say, oh, Ms. Wyckoff, I grossed $300,000, but you netted $15,000. That ain't gonna get it. It's not gonna get it. It's just not gonna get it, okay? So for those of you who are out there and who have made the money and did not report properly, you can contact me, because we have CPAs. We have a corporate CPA and we have a seasoned CPA who has actually been in contact with the IRS quite a bit, okay? So these professionals know what to do legally and or to make you legal as pertains to your finances, okay? The IRS really wants you to claim your income, so you really should be claiming your income, because as a business owner, remember, if you're a sole proprietor, incorporated, or LLC, You need to claim your monies so that way you have leverage, okay? And you have a financial portfolio to be able to do the things that you need to do for your business by gaining credit, by gaining lines of credit, by gaining credit cards, by even getting loans, okay? So we got to make sure that you're legal, okay? Now, they're going to, of course, you got to have your driver license, an up-to-date driver license or an ID, valid ID, your social security card. If you're married, y'all got to have that. If you're married and a sole proprietor, I'm going to do this in order, guys. So some of this stuff is going to, run together here, but that's okay. If you're married and you're a sole proprietor, we're going to look at your spouse's credit as well, okay? But we're not going to count the credit, but we're just going to look at the credit. That's just one of the rules, okay? So both of you guys have to be on the application, if you will. So, all right, so we got that. If you want to be able to use your spouse's credit, financials, combine them so that you guys can get a better house. Your spouse's credit has to be a 620 as well, okay? If any of you guys are interested in that, you need to make sure you give me a call. My information is displayed on the screen, and my team and I can make it happen for you, okay? Now, let's get back to what I was saying. With these financials and your spouse on there, they're going to count. They're also going to count the credit as well. One of the biggest things that I ran in with just here recently, and then even with my client that's waiting, is finances, okay? The money is there, but you don't, let's see. The money is there, but all of your money isn't there, okay? We need to, when I interview, I'm going to probe you, okay? And you need to tell the truth, because the mortgage application, 1003 for short, is what we use. It tells a story about you, okay? So you want to make sure you're telling us the truth, so that way when we turn in your application along with your financials, you can get a pre-approval. In most cases, you can actually get an approval because we have those. I'm going to need those financials. Now, let's go over to I'm going to give you the different businesses, and then I'll go on with the process because I don't want to mess up my order. Then you have the incorporated. Well, you say, oh, I can buy a house with my business tax. Well, we're going to look at your business tax. You know that when being incorporated, INC, you can file your own taxes as well, and you file the business tax, right? So if you have those, we're going to look at those, but it's really good in all cases, sole proprietor, incorporated, or LLC, that you have a CPA that can provide a P&L, a profit and loss, up to date. That means, say for instance, you're going to buy in October. Well, we'll do the P&L will be prepared up until October of this year, okay? If you're going to close in November or buy in November, it's the same thing. It'll be up until November. December, of course, that's the whole year. So you want to make sure that they have your financials and they can certify your financials. And then they'll send a letter, a certified letter certifying your financials. So these are good services to have, but remember, we can do all of that, okay? My team can do all of that. Now, Inc., you can get a house. You can get a house using your individual, your business. We're going to look at the same thing as we did for the sole proprietor, okay? LLC, it's the same thing, right? So remember, we're talking about buying a house on your person. We're not talking about buying a house under the business, okay? However, let's get into it. If you're buying a house under the business, it's the same process, okay? They're under the business, they're going to want to see your personals as well, okay? So Um, Financials. I can't say that enough. We got to make sure your financials are they're clear, they're accurate, and they're legal, okay? So a lot of times when there's a question, the bank, I want you to understand something. The bank can order a 4506T, or the lender, mortgage company, whatever you want to say, right? And they can and that's where they request a tax transcript from the IRS to check and make sure that those are the same financials that you are submitting. So, when you see that 4506T, you know it's going to be the truth, right? But we're going to make sure that everything is truthful here, okay? Because nobody wants to get in trouble for that, all right? So the home buying process, once we've gotten those the credit straight, you have applied for the mortgage application. I mean, you've done the mortgage application, and we've gotten the financials. We can then send that into the lender to qualify you for the loan, okay? Once the lender gets the information, it'll take them about maybe 24 hours. They'll get back to me and they'll say, yeah, they're approved. They'll send you out an approval letter, or they'll send you a pre-approval, providing that the client sends this documentation, blah, 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 right? So it is very imperative, because I don't like to go back and forth. It is very imperative that we make sure that we have those financials. I know you're tired of me saying financial, but I'm telling you what I just ran into. It was a mess. It was a mess. When I tell you it was a mess, it was a straight mess. Because there was something that was omitted or wasn't understood. And because that wasn't omitted and understood, some income was taken out. So now we're faced with a DTI issue, okay? But because the lender I'm working with he's pretty good. He's seasoned. He's been in the business 23 years. So he knew how to combat the issue. And then also the lender made a mistake as well, right? Or the underwriting department. So he was able to find that and combat that and bring it to me, and even get the rate even lower. Now, that's just a piggyback on. Now, let's get back into what I was saying. You have the approval and the pre-approval. Now, you can go out and look for your house. I like to tell my clients, they'll give me a criteria and I will look for them. But I like to tell them well before, when we're working on your credit, if you're married, or you may have a partner or whatever. So you can go out by yourself. Y'all can go out. You can take your family out. Y'all can look. Just looking to get a feel for what you want. And I tell you that because buying a house is an intimate process, right? It's so intimate, and I don't need to be there every time. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't want to be there every time. And if you've never been a homeowner, you need to get a feel for what you want, because so many people have told you, oh, you can't get a house, but then you come to me and I say, oh yeah, you can get a house in the name of Jesus. There ain't nothing to it, right? And you've never been told that, so you're taken aback. And you say, well, how can she do it and these 10 people couldn't do it, but this 11 person can? Because, hey, that's just what it is. We do deals in the name of Jesus. We take Deuteronomy very seriously. Go and occupy the land, and the land is your house. It's not somebody's apartment unless you own the apartment, okay? It's not somebody else's place. So I take that very seriously. So we have a team, once again, that will work with us and to get that done, right? Now, you're looking for the house, intimate process. You already have given me the criteria. I take the criteria, I put it in the search engine, I find you some homes. Okay, go look at this, go look at that. And you may call me and say, hey, I got this. I said, okay, well, let me check the numbers on it. Let me see if it's within your range, right? So you have those things going on simultaneously. You're looking, and then I'm doing that as well. Okay, and we still have to work numbers. Once you find a house, right? Now you find a house. Now we have to have the agent. When I say now you find a house, that means you had an agent with you all along, right? Where I was assisting, with that process as well. You found the house, your agent. If this is a house that is a resale, you have to have an agent. If it's you have to have an agent with you. If it's like listed on HARD or MLS or whatever, right? Because those agents are Trek promulgated, right? So you have your agent to put in an offer, okay? I'll tell you now, it's kind of hard to find a house right now, and you may have to go up a little bit in price. That means that you need to lower your spending, or just wait and stop spending until you get in your house, right? Because we have a lot of folk that are coming in from California and moving here, and they're paying over for the price. It's been all over the news. Have a broker out of Austin. They paid over, beat her client out. They paid over $200 asking price because they have cash, so they can do that, and the house was free and clear, if you will, and it would appraise. But if it had a mortgage on it, it probably, could not, because it probably would not appraise. So in that neighborhood now, that house and other houses are appraised over what the asking price is. So once the tax assessor comes out, for the next year. But that's just sidebar. So we have to make sure that the numbers are right for that house. You put in an offer. Once you put in an offer, the seller of the house either accepts or counter offers. A lot of times what you want to do, what you want to have happen is the agent to be able to you want the agent to be able to negotiate closing costs for you. Also in there, I like to do 3%, because they can't contribute, the seller cannot contribute to your down payment, okay? So closing costs of 3% is always good, and then that way you don't have to take care of so much. Okay, so let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, all right. So they're going to do an offer, and let's see if the seller accepts. If they don't accept, they'll call or email your agent and let them know, or they counter offer, okay? Counter offer says, okay, you submitted it for $300,000. It says, oh no, 310, and then send it back to your agent, and then your agent says submits it to you and say, hey, they said 310. What do you say? You approve for 315. What do you want to do? And you say, oh, okay, we'll accept. Well, we will not let that offer, let you sign that counter offer if there's no houses appraising for that, right? For the 310. So we'll say, hey, you're asking for 310, and this is a finance. Nobody's gonna loan on this because it's not coming in, right? So let's just say, for the sake of argument, they accepted it, the 310. You accepted the 310. You go. Now we're asking for certain things. Title has to be open on the property. You got to have a survey. You probably got to have those tax returns, not the tax returns, those bank statements that was asked for. And there has to be a appraisal done. Sometimes a lender will ask for a home inspection to be done as well. And once those things are in, that's when your underwriting really starts. I can tell you this. Also, I'm sorry, you got to have insurance, okay? So either the processor, they will have some companies set up. They'll find your insurance, or you can use your own auto insurance that you have, and contact your representative and say, hey, I'm buying a house. Can you give me a quote? So once you have those things, we'll send those things. We'll send those things in. Once they're gotten, we have to get an appraisal done, right? I already told you about the appraisal, but let me tell you, I'm going to have to go back and piggyback on the appraisal because what's happening because of the mortgage crash, we can no longer choose that appraisal. So it's put in a pool. So the longest thing that can take in this process is the appraiser, okay? So we don't want to run into what I just ran into, which was having to have a rush job done because they're going to charge more. I think that appraisal was $650 because we had to ask for more, right? So, I mean, we had to ask for it to be done faster, not more, but faster. And it actually came in kind of fast, if you will. So that was the only thing that we had to. So those things are processed and then they are submitted to the underwriter, okay? Because there are conditions. And once they're submitted to the underwriter is going through all of these things. These underwriters are pretty seasoned, so they know what they're looking for. So underwriting can go, underwriting can take, shoot, I don't, 72 hours to a week, right? So once it goes into underwriting, we're just waiting on the underwriter to say, okay, you got to clear to close, right? And then once you get the clear to, well, if you get the clear to close, you're great with no other conditions. But with this underwriter, they asked for, what did they ask for? They asked for the taxes to be paid. They wanted a receipt. They wanted to know about a home in another state. And when they weren't satisfied with that, they took the income off, which ran into our DTI issue, which debt to income. And then PMI issue came up, which is private mortgage insurance, which a formula is already negated for that from the actual loan amount. So I don't know how in the hell we got into that, but it happened. So with having said that, on that deal, that's what happened. But I would like to think that, it would go smoother. You get your clear to close, or you get the other conditions before you can get a clear to close. Once you get those conditions, you turn them back into underwriting. It may take another 24 to 48 hours, right? Once you get those in, you should be okay. We get a clear to close. That means that once you get a clear to close, you got to sign some other docs from the lender, which have to be ordered. Of course, they'll come out from the lender. And then you go to be scheduled at the title company, okay? At that point, title will schedule you to close. We have to make sure that the lender gets the docs to the title company and that the title company can balance everything out. Guys, when you get a clear to close, it's one of the best feelings, okay? Because a clear to close signifies that I am one step away from getting my keys in my hand. On today, my client did not get keys in her hand. What she received was her garage door opens, because the home is like a smart home. So there's, keypad and all of that on the front and the back. It's just real cool, right? So with having said that, everybody was ecstatic because that it's time, right? So like I said earlier, I called title, got docs. Docs came in at 9 o'clock. This title company was very efficient and they were able to get it done, no problem. So you get the clear to close, you get scheduled at the title company, you go to the title company here to close. In some states, you may have an attorney closing you, the actual fee attorney presumably closing you. Or you may have a mobile closer. The lender may send a mobile closer to close you. It just depends on what your options are, okay? So with having said that, I get to title this morning. Everything was certified. They certified. Title companies are bonded, so they insure your title. And they act as an agent between a closing agent between the lender and yourself, and the lender and the seller as well. So they have closing docs to sign from the lender, the seller does, and the buyer has closing docs to sign as well. And the title company has additional docs, to help aid them in their protection as well. So it was really a short process. So that's when your escrow officer, which is from the title company, they're called the closers. They close you when they're really seasoned. So it didn't take us long at all. A lot of these papers you're gonna see once you close. You got a lot of papers, and I would say you need to read those. But your escrow officer, your processor, your real estate agent should know what's going on, and they should be engaged in this. There was two of us there. There was the agent and myself. So I've been doing it for so long. I know what I'm looking at. And sometimes when you see a new document, you're leaning over and you say, "Oh, okay, wait a minute. Let me read this as well." So it all worked out. Okay. All right, guys. The home buying process. It sounds complicated, but we're here to simplify everything. What we need for you to do is to make sure that your credit is straight, and to not purchase anything. Also, when you're buying a house, your life is on hold. You can't buy anything. You can't have balances on there, because my client actually had to pay some stuff off, which was, very small. But that's what she was expecting. So with having said that, the home buying process is not hard like you think it is, because the team and we're here to simplify the entire process. We just need for you to make sure you don't purchase anything and you have your money and you don't do anything with your credit. You're paying your bills just how you paying your bills, and nothing can impede your credit, okay? Because if it does, from that standpoint, we can actually combat it. All right, guys. I know this has kind of been a little long, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to commercial break, and I will be back with you. I thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Remember, you need to get in contact with me so that I can make this happen. I keep saying but when I say please don't get me wrong. It's my team and that God we serve. We're going to get you done. We're going to commercial. We'll be back. I thank you so much.
Events and Adventures knows how to make the most of being single. Get social, in person, try new things, and just have fun. Join Events and Adventures. We've been doing the single life right for over 30 years. 30 great events every month. Just visit eventsandadventures.com.
Want to be a boss? You're watching Boss Up Houston Network. It's Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
Hey singles, do you feel it? The feeling like it's time to start having fun again? If you do, then you're ready to celebrate with Events and Adventures. There's never been a better time to join than right now. Meet new people with a packed calendar of fun events, exciting adventures, and future memories. It's time to live life to the fullest, to high five, skydive, and feel alive again. That feeling is here at Events and Adventures. If you're single and ready to celebrate, visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com. single? Maybe you're divorced or new in town. It's time to meet your match with Events and Adventures. Whether you're low-key or adventurous, come hang out with tons of like-minded people at exciting group activities. The best part? Everyone is single. From happy hours and trivia nights to outdoor adventures and weekend getaways, Events and Adventures has something for everyone. We're all here for the same reason. So come be part of a community made for singles. Your match is waiting for you to make your move. Visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
Look at you, beautiful people. You're back with me. I thank you so much for hanging in there with me. You know this is your girl, T. Foxy Wyckoff. Let's talk business and real estate on the Boss Up Houston Network. We appreciate you so much for coming back. We're talking about the home buying process. And I just want to make sure that you know that you can contact me. Of course, I have a team and we can get you taken care of in all areas. We do commercial, we do residential, and we also do churches as well, okay? So we got financing for everybody, okay? What I want to do is I want to make sure that we're reaching everybody. So I want you guys to remember to give me a call. And this is where faith, hope, and determination stays alive, okay? I want you to get your own affirmation. And I want you to say that on a daily basis. Something that will help you to know that you're beautifully and wonderfully made. And you can actually be a home owner, okay? We got a team, once again, to help you get this done, okay? So I would like to let you know that we're going to have a guest that's going to be actually calling in, and she will be telling about her actual experience with this home buying process with my team and I. And we will not reveal her name. But we will allow her to talk, and she's just going to talk about, her experience. With no further ado, this is my client, and she's calling in. You can tell everybody, hi, client.
Hello, everybody.
We would love to hear, or already know, because I receive roses from my client. Actually, let me just tell you about this client. This client had flowers flew in for us, for the lender, for myself, and for her agent. So this client is very special. However, I want her to tell you all about her experience, and she's going to give her testimony as well. Okay, client.
Okay, what a wonderful experience it was moving here to Texas. I was looking for a home. I'm renting and looking at an apartment, and I was looking for a home. And I happened to bounce up with this team, Miss Wyckoff.
Mm-hmm.
The company name. So many things in my head right now. If I were to tell you the company name, you could help me, Miss Wyckoff. However, Miss Wyckoff happens to be one of the real team leader here for me. She did such a wonderful job every step of the way. Everything I wanted, I asked for. She was on top of the table to do everything for me, which was, so wonderful. I couldn't meet a better person than Miss Wyckoff. At this point in time, I must say, moving here to Texas to live, and I must say that she did everything for me to make me happy, comfortable. I was so happy and so content. I couldn't ask for more. I would recommend her any day to anybody who's looking for a home, whether a condo, whether a house, or you name it. And Miss Wyckoff is a very versatile woman. She do everything. She's just not into the house. She's doing quite a lot more. I think she will tell you that. I will let her tell you a little more about herself when it comes to this. But she is a very, very, very talented and educated woman. And I must say, if anybody's looking for a place, please ask Miss Wyckoff. She has a wonderful team working with her, and I love them all. I love them. I say anything more than this, better than this, but I love them all. They work with me to the end to make sure that I even get into my house. So that alone tells the story. Give me a beautiful lunch today. Oh my God, I couldn't say the words beyond.
You know
So
what?
people, if you're looking for something, talk
Yes.
to Miss Wyckoff.
Yeah, they
She the
need to.
best.
Yeah, they need to know because I was letting them know that hey, we had a time. We had a time because remember we would get to one thing and it would be another thing. We would get through that thing, it would be another thing. It would be we would get through that thing, it would be another thing. It just kept going and going and going. And I remember her saying to me, you know, because she has an accent, and she, when she kind of get upset, she kind of sings when she get upset. So she says, "Well, tell me if it's gonna happen. Is it gonna happen?" And I said, "Listen, in the name of Jesus, you're gonna be in this house. Okay, that's what he said." I go by his word. And because I go by his word, and because we're faithful in his word turned into action. It always does as it pertains to this process. It always does, right? So you're going to get the house. And so then things kept happening. And then she get on the phone with the lender. She said, "You know what? I see it's not you. I kind of thought that maybe you would. But no, yeah, it's him, you know." So we're here to make it smooth, right? So I made it smooth, you know, I made it smooth as I possibly could. I didn't lie to her. We didn't sugarcoat things when we had problems. The lender was, you know, actually pretty good. The lender and I tried to work it out before we would, you know, talk to her about whatever. But when we did not come to an amicable workout between what was in our powers, we could go to her and say, "Hey, this is what's going on, this or that." And she said, "Okay, all right, fine, blah, blah, blah," right? So it was kind of hard because they kept coming back. But this was at the very end, right? When it was time for us to close. Supposed to have docs, you know, on Friday. We don't get them now. I mean, Monday, we don't get docs um, until Wednesday morning. So, hey, you know what? It's just something there to always frustrate the situation, but we got through it. So I just wanted you to be able to tell the people, you know, today you close, you got your, because you have a smart home, so you didn't get keys, you got, you know, garage door openers.
Yes.
Yeah, so just let them know, you know, how ecstatic you are and, you know, once again, how we did, and then we'll talk later.
Well, there was just a few hurdles, nothing much, I must say, but the hurdles, you handled it well. I must say, you and your team, you all handled it well. When you come to me, you explained the situation, and I said, okay, we take it one day at a time. And like you say, we always say, you know, in the name of Jesus, everything, he is first, second, and third.
Yeah.
And we work with that, and everything it's in the right timing. So, but I'm very, very happy. I cannot explain it more. I don't know their words beyond to say how, you know, comfortable and happy I am now. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate it every step of the way. But like you said, you never sugarcoat it. You tell it like it is. And all you have to do is to come forward and say, look, this is the situation. You know, don't tell stories, tell the truth, and everything,
right.
You know, we lay it on the table,
right.
And it's going to happen. And the important thing is that you can make it happen.
Right.
This is what I appreciate and I love. You did make it happen. In the name of Jesus, we did.
We did. We close it in the name of Jesus. I'm telling you, yes. The audience and we appreciate you for giving your testimony. We're going to let you go so you can enjoy that beautiful house. And guys, it's a big one. It's a big one, and we're sitting on the water. We're sitting on the water, and you can too. You can do the same thing. So we thank you so much for calling in. You have a good night.
Thank you so much. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so you heard what my client said, okay? We got her in. It's a nice big house. It's sitting on water. We want to make sure that you have what you need. You can give me a call. My information is on the screen. I'm your real estate consultant. I'm here. I got you, okay? I keep saying I'm sorry, guys. My team and I, okay? We have you. So let's just make this happen for our families. Let's build some generational wealth in the process. I thank you so much for tuning in with me. This is T. Foxy Wyckoff on the Boss Up Houston Network, where we're airing on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Lexus Companies is where faith, hope, and determination comes alive. Once again, faith, hope, and determination comes alive. Say it with me. Faith, hope, and determination comes alive. You just had testimony here. I thank you so much for tuning in with me. We love you. Have a good night. We'll see you later.
Hi, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff, and this is Let's Talk Business and Real Estate, where faith, hope, and determination comes alive. And you can't talk business without talking real estate. Oh. The Lord will bless your barns, and He will bless your hands and everything you put them to do. The Lord will bless the property in which He's given you. Tune in to Let's Talk Business and Real Estate on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on the Boss Up Houston Network.